My name is Scott Tobugi Mwangi, and I'm popularly known, or rather commonly known as Scott the Violinist, meaning I play the violin. And apart from that, I am also a teacher, a friend of many, and yeah, I guess I'm basically simple. I tend to think I am. When I started playing the violin, this was back in 2009. I was in my third year, and when you're in high school, you get this certain, from one, you're still getting to understand what life is about in high school and all that. From two, play around, do your trips and all. So from three, then you decide to be serious. And I was serious, but I wasn't really happy with the progress of my grades and all that. And it was very frustrating because I was very open. I mean, me and the teachers were quite close. I'd openly go and consult, but I wasn't getting the grade I wanted, and that frustration was really eating into me. And the only way I could distract my mind was finding another activity. And at this point was now playing the violin. But besides playing the violin, also creative writing. I like writing stories about places I see, things I experiences. And at that time, I liked writing, but I didn't see a future in it. I was like, I can do it as a hobby, but not as a career or something that I would want to really develop. So I chose the violin, something very different that I had no idea about. I just tried to challenge myself and see how far I can go with this. That you can go for a trip and detox and then now come back into. So my detox was go do something very different that you've never done before and just challenge yourself to see where you are. Like, is it that you can't perform, or is it that you have it in you, but you need another avenue to bring that energy and that motivation and that inspiring, that drive? Where do you channel it, you see? So those are now our music teacher, Philip Tuju, would come and train the choir every other day. And when I saw him with the violin, it rang a memory in my mind where me and my brother, we used to do these challenges like, this is my car, that's my car, that kind of thing. So when I saw the violin, it inspired me, like, wait, when I was a kid, we used to have this fight. Like, if I see a guitar, I'll be there, that's for me, but someone else will do this. So the violin came, I was like, this is a good challenge, let's see what happens. So it was just like a dare I did for myself. Getting to see a violin firsthand, at that time it wasn't a common instrument, yeah? We only used to see these things on TV and stuff like that. And I remember how inspiring it was to even just hold the violin, yeah? At that time, only the private schools would teach this instrument. So coming from a public school and then I have access to this instrument was quite a privilege, So I didn't take that for granted. I was like, the fact that God has given me this opportunity, I'll utilize this moment and make sure that I make the best out of it. So if it's practice, I'll be committed to it. I'll commit myself because I couldn't afford it at that time. But we were blessed to have this guy who was open to just provide the instruments to train us. And even if he's busy, at least the instruments is there. It's easy to wake up and decide that I need to commit to my practice with this thing. So the fact that I had that opportunity, it really, really was a blessing. So I just never took it for granted. I kept practicing, and really just internalizing, feeling the emotion of the instrument and also just communicating with it and going from there. I got selected to play for the nationals. You see, so already that sparked something in me. Like, if I took this instrument and I got to travel to Mombasa to represent my school for this, what else can this instrument do? You see, so it already sparked something new, some energy. Like, let's go outside, perform somewhere. What feedback do we get from there? And I was wishing my friends could continue with the same journey, but for them, I think, we all have goals, and I just wanted to keep exploring, keep exploring, keep exploring. I somehow managed to go to one of the cities that I dream about, you know. That is now Mombasa at the time. When I was young, I couldn't afford going there, but with this instrument, it's a direct ticket. So I'm like, So if I continue with this, something else will happen, you know. I might actually get to, maybe buy my dream car, maybe travel again to the same city as often as I want to, and maybe interact with the people that I want to interact with, but through this gift that I've been given. So it motivated me to just keep going and going and going and going. So yes, I went to campus. I went to Nairobi University and did public relations. And I chose to do that course because I realized that I've already started something. It's now a matter of managing it and developing it into something that's at least professional and also like could develop into a career. So the course itself helped me like figure out what is it that I'm doing, what is it, how can I develop it and sell it to now the public, and also at the same time inspire myself to like keep the dream and keep now this new journey that no one has done, and with no guidance really, but just a matter of mixing knowledge, you know, borrow knowledge here, borrow experience here, merge the two, and you have a story, you know, and that kind of thing. Just developing slowly by slowly and seeing what it takes and how far it takes me. First of all, friends, family had to come involved. I told them, like, listen guys, I have an idea and I know it's gonna work. So I just need you, just close your eyes, do like a harambe over here. You make this money, I buy a violin, I'll pay you back after 2-3 events. And remember, I was also good at creative writing, yeah? So I could sell, or rather I could pitch for myself to companies that, would consider this idea. So, and I had that brave, I was brave myself, so I was like, you know what, Scott, there's nothing that's stopping you. Look for the biggest name, just send them this letter, like, yo, what's up? I am who I am, and I want to do ABCD. And you have to trust that I know what I'm trying to do. So that confidence kind of also helped in also making guys believe in me. So I sent letters to certain hotels, and they accepted to have me sample my music. And at the time, this is now Tribe Hotel. And Tribe was very new, and it was such a big news to hear that this guy actually factored me in. I was like, wow, I'm only like 19, and these guys are ready to, listen to what I've got. So that also gave me more passion and more energy to keep exploring what I have. So yes, I can write. Yes, I can perform. So creating that experience and putting myself out there, taking challenges. Like I've never been to this hotel. I've never been to, like, for example, Galileo, but I'm using that experience to, go perform, sit down, take notes. This happened, I met this kind of people, and this is the kind of music I played. They responded to this music this way, they responded to this other music that way, and I feel like I can be better if I do it A, B, C, D. So you see, so slowly I'm just having like a, like a scorecard or whatever you want to call it. But I'm taking notes of every experience that I'm building, and then going back to school, seeing what I'm being taught in school, marrying the two and see, like now understanding like if 1 + 1 is 2 because, that kind of story. +1 plus times 2. So it's a developing equation that now makes sense if I go to school. So when I sit down and the lecturer says ABCD, I'm like, yes, I know, and I can defend it like this because yesterday when I was playing here, this happened, and I was interacting with the clients this way. So it has been a very exciting, kind of experience for me because I'm performing at the same time I'm studying the same thing. There's a saying I used to be taught when I was in primary. I see, I forget, I hear, I remember, I do, I understand. Yeah. And actually, yeah, I have to big up one of my teachers. That was Mr. Oluoch. He's the one who taught me that quote. And I apply it every day. So if I'm stuck, I realize if I just use that quote and apply it on simple skills, then now, you see, I'm lucky to have a parent who is very open-minded. Why? Because even he, in his lifetime, he's done everything. He's been a pilot, he's been a movie director, he's been a performer. So he understands that, I mean, life is, if you have a challenge, you just explore every option. It's not all about studies and all that, because he's experienced all. So him letting me do me also kind of opened, you know, the way for me to like now make my life even more exciting and stuff like that. This is Valentine's Day, 14th February 2010, 11, somewhere. All right, so first of all, the job is confirmed. So who is my team? I had to now improvise. I'm like, I want my sound to have not just the violin, because it's not always about me, you know, collaborate. I want to support a fantastic guitarist I had. I want to support this other person as well. And I want that backup, okay? So I invite them as well. I tell them, this is the pay, get your cut. Let's meet for rehearsals. And I used to rehearse at St. Andrew's Church, which I love that church as well. It's really been supportive to me in terms of now space and just the people around there. And after practice, then now D-Day is here. So D-Day, that means the venue is here, but I need equipment. I have a violin, fine. But we're dealing with maybe 50, 60, 70 guests. And how do we make it work in the sense that everyone gets to hear us? So it means that I need to come with a sound system, okay? Does Scott have a sound system? No. Does Scott have money to hire this equipment? Dealers. So I'm like, okay, fine. The best way I can do this is, but you see now, this time, I've never even done this kind of event. So I called guys, then somehow I ended up in, I don't know, Buruburu, now to try and purchase now, not purchase, but to hire the sound equipment. Now, Scott, instead of waking up early and doing this thing in the morning, decides to do it in the afternoon. Why am I on this other side of town, trying to secure this gear? At this hour, it's past 2, and I need to cross over town all the way to Village Market sides. I don't have a car. I don't have, the guy who was supposed to supply me was doing the gym, so I had to wait for him to come, load the gear in the car, and dash to this side. Yeah. At that time, I'm hoping that my musicians have already arrived to the venue to like save face, you see? Which they did, so at least they're there. But who did they call? They called Scott. Where's Scott? Nowhere to be seen. So I'm busy trying to dodge traffic. I'm just being called, where are you, where are you, where are you? And I'm just, I mean, it's a crisis, but I'm trying my best to make it there on time. So I was like maybe half an hour late. I don't like that. I wasn't happy about that. But my first event, then here I'm showing up late. And my guys are there, thankfully. And now we just have to perform. So how are we doing this performance? I can't set up gear when guests have already settled, you see? So I had to improvise. I'm like, okay, fine, I'm late. I can't be seen moving equipment all over the place because even the space itself is very ambient, very, you know. So I don't want to look disorganized. So what do? I change the performance. Instead of now having a show, I do a private session. So I go to your table, play for you the violin, you know. So it looks like it's something that's, you know, planned, but it's not. I'm improvising. I'm like, you know what? To make this performance special, let me go to each table, dedicate a song to them. So it changed the whole, you know, the atmosphere. The tension was all under control now, and just guests was so mesmerized by this experience that, wow, I'm having dinner, then I'm having a private performance by a violinist and 2 guitarists side by side, and they're playing special songs for me. So I ended up even picking tips, you know, from now this kind of idea, because now it's working, and even, I mean, the staff can see that it's merging with the whole idea. So guys can have their conversations on a very low tone, but also there's now the ambience of the violin and the sounds of the guitar, just mesmerizing the entire space. And it was such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful performance. So it went well, okay? Finished my gig, now it's home time. but I don't know the rules here. So I'm like, am I supposed to be paid on the spot? What happens? I don't know what an invoice quote is. You know, I thought it's like a shop. You come, you buy, and you get it. No. So it's past midnight, then I'm calling now the guys booked me. Yo, what's up? I've finished. Where's my money at? So they laugh at me. Okay, they laugh at me. They're like, Scott, this is not how we do business. You need to understand that there's something called a quotation, an invoice, a receipt, etc. Fine, but Scott is broke. He needs to go home. Yeah, and these people are assuming they're also being paid because it's our first time doing this thing. So now I have to manage people. I'm like, okay, guys, thank you first of all for coming, but the way it looks like, you are not going to be paid tonight. You'll have to wait for quite some time. Do you have a bank account? No. Do you have a bank account? So I think I need to go and open a bank account so that, because these guys are paying via check. How does it happen? So we finish, they understand what's happening. I call my family to come and pick me up because, I've been moving up and down with so many things and somehow things are under control. So they come through, I go sleep, start now consulting. What is an invoice? How do I write an invoice? This way. How do I send this invoice to this company? That way. So now I'm doing the official, I'm learning as I go. I've never done it. I've been told to do it, so this is how it's supposed to be done. So now I have to open an account. I sent that information to them. Now I tell my people, I've done my part. Now it's a matter of waiting. So how much is waiting? Waiting is 2 months, because now corporates have a different way of working with clients. So all this is happening, but now I have to manage people here. I'm like, guys, they keep calling me, Scott, where's our money? Scott, where's our money? Scott, where's our... I'm like, I know, I did it as well, but we have to follow protocol. It states that you've sent this, they have to approve it, and then now, get your checks, get your payments and all that. So it took, a very frustrating whatever time it took, but I later came to realize that's how businesses work. Like, it's not like a kiosk, you just go and buy, and there's policies that have to be followed. What does has the violin opened? Travel. The first thing I wanted to do before I even touched the violin was to travel. And once I did, I got to, first of all, go to Mombasa, the one city I always wanted to go to, and it happened. And then again, like with time, I got to travel more often and getting to really see that Nairobi is not just, and it's something very important, like it's changed my perspective about life and really, really humbled me in the sense that we think that we know so much, yet we don't. Until you travel out of the city and see that people live different lives, you get to appreciate where you come from. So it's really helped me really understand life and appreciate life for what it is. And it's also really made me interact with some very, inspiring people. And it also puts so many things in perspective in terms of my journey, where I want to go, the challenges I'm facing, and just, whenever you're at doubt, and then you reflect back, last week I met, let's say, Bob Collymore. And what that taught to me, or rather how that inspired me, is that, if you chase your dreams, you're gonna dine with the kings and queens of this world, and you get to borrow so many lessons from that experience. And it inspires you every day that you're worth something. If you're ever in a depressive state, you reflect back on those moments and you know what? I can do something great. I don't need to dwell in this situation that I am in. If it's in a bad situation, you can always now reflect on those kind of positive memories and stuff like that. So it's made me interact with very inspiring people. It's made me even do business with very skilled people. For example, the collaborations we've done with Sauti Soul, th- those kind of things. Like you get to collaborate and network with great minds, and that always just keeps making me going. I'm happy that I've traveled to all corners. I've gone to Mombasa and I've gone to the lakeside as well. And I've got to really appreciate how beautiful Kisumu is. I'm like, wow, there's one thing you hear, but going there to see it for yourself, I'm like, what? You need to see the sunset in Kisumu. There's nothing as beautiful as the sunset in Kisumu, because this now, in your mind, when you see the sunrise from the Indian Ocean, it's the same thing. But when you see the golden sunset on that other side, it's breathtaking. So it really made me really appreciate the nature on that side of town, and getting to see, like, for example, how that Mount Kenya is actually a true mountain. Getting to play that side as well, getting to play somewhere like even central Kenya, whatever it is within the country. And I've also managed to play in East Africa. I've played in Uganda, and also Tanzania. I've traveled to Tanzania. Really beautiful people, beautiful cultures, and very receptive of what I can offer. And also, I managed to also travel to the UK for the first time, one of my dream destinations as well. So, my journey inspires me that I get to travel to places that I never even thought. It's so expensive buying these things, but getting people who want you there, they pay for your, all they want you to just show up. You don't need to spend anything. It's just you come as you are, come with the instrument and entertain us. It's a blessing that I can't explain. It humbles me so much that such experiences can actually come to be, and they actually exist if you just commit to that one thing and leave the rest to God and just let it, manifest in your life. It's this saying my dad says, it's better be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than having an opportunity and not being prepared. So by that, I always remind myself that anything can happen at any time. Like carry your business cards, carry your laptop, carry whatever it is, that if an opportunity comes your way, you always have to be prepared. So practice. Prepare yourself for, if I walk outside and then I meet the president, I'm ready, to give what I can give at the time. So just always being on standby. Even if death comes, you have to be prepared for that as well. But for example, like I was very inspired, sorry to bring this up, but like Bob Collymore death. Instead of being, when someone passes on, we tend to feel hurt. Instead of that feeling, we got like an inspirational vibe out of it. Like this is someone who served, he changed this country. And when he passed on, we are actually proud that we experienced such a person in our lives and how much he influenced each one of us in a certain way, So that kind of thing, like it changes perspective, and it changes how you view life and how you prepare yourself for some outcomes that come inevitably.